Welcome back to Overkill Reviews. This week, it's a big one from a thrash legend, Testament. Their new album, Brotherhood of the Snake, is released today worldwide on Nuclear Blast Records. Okay, so let's do a little mini history on Testament. They were formed in the Bay Area in 1983 as Legacy. They renamed themselves as Testament in '87 and released their first record called The Legacy. They had a pretty steady output until 1999 and then took a hiatus in the early 2000s. Chuck Billy, vocalist, was diagnosed with cancer, then recovered, and then in 2008 they released a highly acclaimed record called The Formation of Damnation and have been on a bit of a tear since then. So, let's see what the old thrash boys from the Bay Area have to offer with Brotherhood of the Snake. Opening song is the title track called The Brotherhood of the Snake, and it's clear from note 1 that Testament is not taking their foot off the gas. So, the album there opening with an absolute ripper, and it's clear that the rhythm section of Gene Hoglan on drums and Steve Giorgio on bass has a lot to offer. And then Mr. Billy enters the fray. This title track, The Brotherhood of the Snake, refers to a secret society that apparently existed some 6,000 years ago that went on a crusade to ban and devalue all other religions. And I guess Chuck Billy here seeing some parallel between that and what is happening today in politics and big business. Muzzle the dog. Vocalist Chuck Billy is seeing a parallel between that and what's happening in today in politics and big business. Billy bellows there, without a trace, the covenant of the snake succumbing unto your fate. They've been watching you. Certainly makes you think about what's going on in today's American political climate. And musically, the song gets a little kind of modern metal breakdown feel towards the end. Check it out. So, as expected, some pretty remarkable guitar work there from Eric Peterson and Alex Skolnick. But what I'm also hearing are those crazy extra little drum bass fills, courtesy of Hoglan. Is he a man or a machine? This guy is pretty fucking incredible and adds a lot to this record. Next song. Second track on the album is called The Pale King, and we're right back into some classic thrash riffing right here. Nice, solid, heavy start on The Pale King there. But here's a little thrash metal quiz for you. Who does Mr. Billy strongly resemble here? Summoned by the voices who are shouting in my ear, the Pale King comes from afar. Any guesses? To me, that just screams Mila from Creator. Chuck Billy there in the higher register, and it's got me reaching for extreme aggression or pleasure to kill or violent revolution. And of course here he's telling the tale of the Pale King, who's actually the leader of the Sumerian secret society who is banishing all those who did not follow. Back to the music. These guys haven't lost one bit of shred. Listen to Eric Peterson here. And as the Pale King progresses, the band dips further and further into this melodic territory that they've been exploring on their recent records. But listen to this riff. Does this work? I'm not sure any thrash riff should make you want to move your shoulders like that, and maybe that's why I have a bit of a problem here. It's the combination of that melodic vocal and that 16 on the hi-hat, 4 on the floor bass approach from Hoglan. Not so sure. Anyway, next tune. Track 6 on Brotherhood of the Snake is called Centuries of Suffering, and even though the band has explored a lot of this melodic range on this record, they're not afraid late in the album to hit you with just a two-fisted thrasher. This I fucking love. Really liking that high up fretwork thrash approach there, and maybe my colors are shining through here. Love the Haunted at the Gates, Dark Tranquility, that kind of sound. And then Eric Peterson stepping in. Everyone gives Skolnick the credit for being the shredder. Listen to this. And towards the end of Centuries of Suffering, which has by and large been a full-on thrash metal attack, Testament showing their death metal side here.
Everything we do, as man evolves, so do the weapons used.
Lyrically there, Chuck is, I guess, comparing this 6,000-year-old secret society to what's going on today. He screams, after all, everything we do as man evolves, so do the weapons used. So it's that old tale, as much as things change, things stay the same. Last track. Track 7 on the Brotherhood of the Snake, and my favorite on the album, is called Neptune Spear. It opens with this nice mid-tempo thrash riff, and love the way the two guitars crisscross in harmony on this one. Now, lyrically, Neptune Spear, of course, is the code name for the special ops to assassinate Osama bin Laden. So Brotherhood of the Snake is not just an album about ancient secret societies crusading, it's also got some modern relevance as well. And in the chorus, Billy screams, "One-shot kill."
One-shot kill! One-shot kill! One-shot kill!
Now, was it one-shot kill? Depends on what you read. You read the Daily Mail, it's a whole different story. But regardless, Brotherhood of the Snake has a lot to say about modern politics, but it's not really clear where Testament is landing. Sometimes very critical, and sometimes somewhat supportive. But regardless, musically, towards the end of the song, Alex Skolnick steps in with a melodic statement that unites us all. So Mr. Skolnick there makes us all want to join arms in power metal fashion and swing our beer steins to the sound of his beautiful, transcendent melodic playing, showing more of his Trans-Siberian Orchestra flavor there. So, Brotherhood of the Snake, a lot to absorb. Let's go to the verdict. Now, let's step back a bit. Testament has never been regarded as being part of the big four of thrash, but for me personally, it was big three: Metallica, Slayer, and Testament. I've always felt that this band deserved a little more respect and acclaim. And with a band like Testament with such a deep history, it's a lot to consider when you're weighing them against their own back catalog as well as the current modern metal scene. In any case, Brotherhood of the Snake stands out for me. Why? First off, production. This is a fantastic sounding record, better than Dark Roots and Formation of Damnation that preceded it. And further to that, Giorgio and Hoagland are offering a lot on this record. There is some absolutely incredible bass and drum work. The bass production in particular is punching through very nicely. In terms of songwriting, for me, Brotherhood of the Snake is right up there with Formation of Damnation. This is an album full of great ideas. It never sits still. The band is exploring here and there, but by and large, they are producing a very thrashy record. Now, in terms of critique, admittedly, it's hard to find a fault in this record. One thing I felt was when they tried to expand out and do some of the more melodic vocal passages, it didn't really work. And that song about the legalization of marijuana called Cannabusiness, important topic, but kind of came across as a little bit hokey and not sure it really worked here. But all in all, this is a great band, great record, several decades in. Testament still going strong. Catch them live this fall. 4.5 skulls out of 5 on Overkill Reviews. But before we go, I want to give a shout out to the brand new self-titled debut album from Serpentine Dominion, released today on Metal Blade Records, a bit of a supergroup with members of Killswitch, Cannibal Corpse, and ex-Black Dahlia. Strong record. Check it out.